Hey, what's up? This is your girl Diamond. I go live every Friday at 7. I'm on time today, y'all, period. Let me fix these settings. So if you are coming back, make sure you thumbs up as you come in. If you are new here, we have the chat set up to where only subscribers can participate because it makes everybody, we all know each other. We've been here. We avoid the BS and the mess that kind of comes on live chats. People get to type in racist or homophobic stuff in the chat, and we don't do that over here. So if you want to participate, become a subscriber. Hey, Andre. Hey, CL. Thank you. So we're going to talk about the McKenna case. McKinney West case, because I think it's important to discuss and think about. But before we get started, how y'all doing? Hey, Trishan, how are you? I brought my black hair back, honey. My rock star hair. Switch it up, even though red is my favorite. But, I'm going to do a little black. Hey, that nigga. Hey, Mario, how are you? Thank you. I love a little vamp. Thank you. How has y'all week been? Y'all hear what's going on in Gary? They ain't got no power. And motherfuckers ain't talking about it. I'm like, I remember when the grid shit happened here in Houston, well, in Texas, in Houston specifically, when that Texas freeze happened and the power grids went out because Texas doesn't want to be connected to the other state's power grid. And so I was out of power for a week. And I hated that shit. Luckily I had worked at Bath and Body Works for so long that I had so many candles. So I was able to like cook with my candle heat and have heat and burn my candles. So it kind of worked out. And then my homegirl, she drove over and I could charge my phone with her car. So I'm like, oh God, we have been having power easily come from the wall spoiled us. We don't know how to survive without power. I was like, damn. I was like, I don't know how long I could handle this for like a long period of time, but what's happening in Gary made me think about it where I was like, oh, so long. We lasted about a week without power, and then it came back on. What celebrities? What celeb lookalike do you get? Do you give Faith Evan when you do Blonde? No. When I got fat, it changed. When I was skinny, I would get Kamora Lee Simmons. I would get any fucking light skinned black girl, Lisa Ray, people like that. But when I got fat, I started to get Etta James, aka any light skinned fat girl. Um, when Lizzo came out, I started getting Lizzo. Um, but they think all fat people look alike. Uh, who else? Who else did I start to get? Celebrity. I don't think I've ever heard. Have I ever heard Faith? No, I never heard Faith. Um, yeah. Hey Jay, how are you? Are you going out later? No, I'm not going out later. I just felt like putting on some black hair. No, I'm not going out though. I've been running the streets all damn day. I've been out all day. So when I came home, I was like, "Ooh, I'm not doing shit." Even though I have been finding a lot of been following a lot of people talking about Houston and what to do in Houston because a lot of our like clubs, well, not a lot, but the main black clubs have shut down. But these was the clubs that like motherfuckers they go to them, but it's when you know how our club culture is kind of shifting in Houston. If you've never been here, our club, not the gay area. The gay area is the same, but the straight club culture, they getting kind of crazy. Like there's no place to dance in the club. They only doing sections that cost $1 million. Barely any parking. That don't. It's nothing accessible. People not dancing. Even the dudes is acting funny. Dudes is acting funny, not letting girls come in their VIP section. It only niggas in the section, so girls ain't really trying to come out no more. It's just a whole different weird ass vibe when it comes to the straight clubs. And Houston, if you partied in Houston late aughts, early 2010s, oh god, it was a time, bitch. It was a time like Breakers, Metropolis, the straight clubs was fucking popping. It was just so fire. Hey Ray. Hey Raven. Um, and it just was a time. It just was amazing. And so in my now clubs are closing and it's just not any so people are doing content about how it's getting fucking whack. It's getting fucking whack. They done price gouge everybody into fucking staying home. And so the clubs that are mainstays that's been around for a long time are the classic ones like Kairos and the ones that has kept relatively low cover charges to get in, if any. They got good drinks. The down home ass places now, you might go there and get shot. Nah, but so some of them are a little ratchet, but they stick around and you can go have a good time. But the places that are considered the upscale, the new age, they all closed. They all closed like within the past month. So everybody like, if you can't go to Bella Noche's, where can you go? Hey Matt, how are y'all? Hey baby. I think we got some rain earlier, but I don't know if it's raining now. Hey Giselle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mm-mm-mm-mm. But yeah, so I've been kind of running around. This morning I had to go. There's a new fragrance shop called Krigler's, Krigler. They kind of pricey. I went to buy some fragrances, but I didn't know how much they cost. I thought they was gonna be in a range that I can afford. Baby, them motherfuckers was high as shit. So I went over there thinking that I was gonna buy something, child. And they was too pricey for the doll's wallet. I was like, oh, I didn't know y'all was, honey, you know, this upscale girl. What kind of sense? I ain't never heard of y'all trying to charge me $1 million for these little cents, girl. But so I had to leave out that store, shamed, coming. I thought I was coming to buy something, but baby, them prices was too high. They like 500 something. I was like, oh, classy. He said, get your broke black ass up out of here. It was pricey, but they did smell really, really good. So I'm gonna eventually, y'all know I'm a fragrance girly, so I'm gonna eventually get one, but oh yeah, I didn't know they was that high. I should have looked online. I should have looked at the went online first, but I was like, oh, I was following this girl and she was like one of Houston's best kept fragrance secrets. And she said it, and I was like, oh, I ain't never heard of them. Let me go check them out. And so I went to their store because they have a boutique in the Four Seasons. And so I was like, okay, I can just go and see what they give. Baby, I went over there and Miss Thing gave me the price. And you know how you go into a place, you know, feeling grand. And baby, the people are already looking at you. If you black, they already looking at you like, girl, you gonna buy something. Hey, Brittany, thank you. They better come with a man. But you know how you got to play it off. Well, I just came to, browse. I just came to browse. Do you have samples? So I went home and perused my own collection. Today I am wearing if you like rose, this is a rose combination. So I'm wearing two things today. So first, I'm wearing Lush. This is from Lush. It's called Rose Jam. And it's basically a little tube of like a balm. And it smells like roses and strawberries. And so you take the little thing and you put it on your points, like on your neck and on your wrist, wherever you're going to put your fragrance, and you rub it. And it's like it's like a balm. It's like a oil-based little balm. And so you put it on your little wherever you normally put your fragrances. So one of the tricks I told y'all, I don't know when I told y'all, but I told y'all this before. Oh, one of the tricks of keeping your fragrances on is like some Vaseline or some, like oil, fragrance-free oil. Put it on your skin and let it sit there, and then you spray your oil on the Vaseline, and it just lasts longer because it got something to grip to. And so this is very similar to this, except it has a fragrance in it. So if you have a Lush by you, it's Lush, it's not expensive. You got a Lush by you, they have different fragrances of these small little pots of fragrance balm. And so this one is called Rose Jam, and it smells like strawberries and roses. And so I love to mix this with, now this is a little bit more pricey, but accessible. This is from Penhaligon's, which is a London-based brand, but you can find these at like Saks, Neiman's. You can find these places. It's not like it's exclusive over there. But I got introduced to it when I went to London, and I was like, oh, I like them. So anyway, this is called Liquid Love. I love it. It's a cute little potion-y, apothecary old school looking bottle. Liquid Love, and it is a very floral, rosy scent. And so, with this smelling like roses and strawberries, this just blends well with it. So I just be like, ooh. And I love it. And so I smell, it's really fresh and clean, light, floral, sweet. It's really good. I love it. Speaking of London, Esoteric Doll, how are you? Yeah, Penhaligon's is London based. They've been around since the 1800s. I think like 1870 something. Um, but it is, I love them. They have so many good scents. My favorite is Yasmin. I have three fragrances from them. I have Yasmin, which is my favorite. It has like a cat head on top of the bottle. And then there's one that I love. It's more masculine, and it's called Mr. Sam's. And it's all of their little fragrances got a different story that they tell about the fragrances. And Mr. Sam is, remember, this is a London-based fragrance house. And Mr. Sam is based on an American guy. He's an American guy. He's charming. He's sophisticated, but he's American. So he's like, you know, they consider us to be arrogant and, you know, but a part of his story is that he's charming and all that kind of stuff. So I like Mr. Sam's because it smells like it's a masculine scent, but it's not masculine like vetiver, brute. Not like that. Not like it, I don't know. It's really fresh and clean and tomboyish. It still has a light and airiness to it, like moss. Um, it's just lavender moss, fresh. It's just fresh and clean and kind of smell like, I say tomboyish because it's not just manly and boyish. It's kind of like it's a little bit more elevated. So I love it. It's called Mr. Sam's. So Mr. Sam's, Yasmin, and this one. Them three are my favorite from Penhaligon. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But this smells good. It just makes me feel really springtimey, but I know it's fall, but it's still summer. It's still August. Hey son. Joining the choir in this lovely glam look. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I got this top from H&M somewhere, H&M somewhere. And it is so cute. Like it looks like kind of like metal, but it's these, if I flip them up, this is all like sequins. But it's not sequins like them flat circles. These, you see how it's kind of like I don't know how to describe these. They're not sequenced like those flat circles. They're like, let me get up close. They're like twigs a little bit. They're like they poke out. They're like spikes instead of like circles. They're like spikes. I love them. They're super cute. I love these things. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, it looks like it does. It looks like feathers. Yeah, it's very, what's Charlize Theron's character in Snow White? The queen, the evil queen. Yes, very Ravina. Very that. Come on, Halston meets McQueen. Absolutely. All right, let's get started. We are 20 minutes in. Let's get started. All right, so do y'all know about the McKenna case? McKenna West case? Have y'all heard about it? Have y'all heard about what's going on with it? Let me give you a rundown of what's going on. Okay, cool. McKenna is trying to have a moment with this little conscious surrogate. Yes. So McKenna West agreed to be a gestational surrogate, so a surrogate mother. So somebody found her, and a couple came to her and say, "Hey, will you have our baby?" Or she offered her services to have a baby. I don't know the details about how they met each other, but they came together and agreed that she's going to be their surrogate, and they were going to pay her. They're gonna she's going to have their baby, and she's going to be the surrogate mother. Okay. And so they set up a contract for her to be their surrogate. So the contract is, you ain't got no rights. I have rights to the baby. It's our baby. We gonna pay you for it. We get the baby when you're done, and we gonna about our business. You feel what I'm saying? She lived in Alaska. I think they lived in California. Don't quote me on that. I know lived she was in Alaska. I think they were from somewhere like on the West Coast. I think California, but I'm not 100% sure about that. And so, okay, so when she got pregnant, and they're from Cali, thank you. So, so she got pregnant, and when they start doing the checkups, they realized the doctor told her that the fetus was diagnosed with a very serious heart condition. Okay. So it was one of them heart conditions where it's a high risk for the baby to pass. They ain't gonna live if you know what I'm saying, one of them crazy situations where it's like, ooh, they gonna have to go through a million surgeries, all that kind of shit. And so the intended parents, the parents who paid her to be their surrogate, they wanted her to terminate the pregnancy. In a crazy turn of events, McKenna said, "No, I don't think I'm going to terminate the pregnancy." She ultimately decided she wanted to continue with the pregnancy. So she left Alaska and went to Texas, because Texas got these weirdo abortion laws, anti-abortion laws. And that created a dispute, and they started to basically, the dispute is about, it's like a legal battle over bodily autonomy, the contractual rights that, remember, they had a contract on, as because she's a surrogate. Parental rights, where does your parental right starts and stops with a baby that comes from your genes? And then eventually, with the baby, when the baby comes, like the baby itself, like what rights does the parent have before, after, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, ooh. And so what I want to ask y'all is, in y'all opinion, who gets to make the decision when the person carrying the pregnancy and the people who intend to become the parents fundamentally disagree? So I want y'all to think about, is it the person who has the bodily autonomy, the surrogate mother? Is it, I want y'all to think about contractual rights. If the contract says this and y'all agree to this, does the contract need to be the law? Intended parents, is the intended parents the ones who have the rights, even like it's their genes in this person's body? And then, is it what is best for the child's interest? What do y'all think? What do y'all feel? There's no right or wrong answer. Just what do y'all feel? Are you the type of motherfucker that's like, shit, I honestly don't fucking know. Like, you get what I'm saying? What are your thoughts in this situation where I want you to look at it from the parents who paid for this service, and I want you to look at it from her point of view, so who is giving her body for this under contract. What should stand? What should not stand? What do y'all think about it? Who gets to make the decision? Garvino says, I don't know. CL says it's hard. Son says shit. Right now, are we just talking about keeping the child or not? Whatever. Either way, what any aspect of it. Where's the nuance for you? The child's parents have all the rights. She should have terminated. They wanted a healthy baby, not the one she was carrying. Especially since the kid is going to have a bunch of surgeries. I would be pissed. The biological parents. In this case, she was just opening her womb up for storage. It could be different if she had used her eggs. Jenny says, hey, Jenny. Rayan says this is very, very tricky. It is. Ultimately, I'm going with the parents because this is their child. And from what I understand, the child will be born with a deadly birth defect. Not necessarily deadly, but very high chance. But they could get surgeries and fix it. Maybe. In high risk surgeries. In my opinion, it's very similar to babysitting. Explain that, Callie. What do you mean by that? I think as far as keeping it, her body, her choice, once it gets here, I feel like they can still run her through the ringer per the contract. I think so. You feel like one before it gets there is like her body, her choice, regardless of the contract. I think laws change all the time, but compelling someone to go through a bodily procedure, termination, or pregnancy, but not for sure about the gene aspects. She was paid to use her body under specific terms, and one of those terms was to terminate should be embryonic defect. Sorry if you explained this, but I don't know if I understand. Would the adopting parents still be responsible for the child once it's born? Is the mom taking the child? So from what I'm to understand, the agreement was she is a surrogate. So she's not, they're going to take their baby. They use their DNA, their eggs and sperm, the couple, and they're using her body basically as an incubator. And so they created a contract, and under the contract, it's basically once we have the baby, you go about your business. It's our baby. You're just an incubator, and we're paying you to do it. And so once the doctors tell them that the baby has a defect, they tell her, hey, just go ahead and terminate the pregnancy. Don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't want a baby with a defect. We'll try again another time. You know what I'm saying? We'll figure it out later on. And that was in the framing of the contract. But she says, she says, nah, I don't want to. Now, this is what I would usually surrogates are doing it for the money. I mean, not it's for the money. And so is she thinking she not gonna get any money? And so it's like, oh, I need to have this baby so I can get paid for it. Like, is she trying to force them to make sure that they pay her? That's the thing that I'm kind of figuring out. What's her motivation? Is her motivation money? Like, if I go through with the pregnant, you trying to get me to kill the baby, and then I ain't gonna get fucking paid. Is it like that? Or did she like have a change of heart? I don't want to kill my baby. I don't know. I'm trying to. I don't know that. I don't. She hasn't really. I haven't seen an interview with her, so I don't know what her tea is. She probably feels like she won't get all that was agreed upon. Hey, Gigi, I think there should be a clause that says if the surrogate keeps the baby after the parents demand a termination due to the health of the baby, then all the responsibility goes to the surrogate. Yes, CL, but I've we're going to talk about this later. But imagine, I want you to think about that. Think about what that opened the doors to. What if you got these deadbeat ass niggas that voluntary fuck somebody and they tell her, "Oh, I want you to get an abortion," and she say, "No, I don't want to get an abortion," and she keeps the baby. If that opens up the door for them to just leave the baby with her, I feel that opens up the door for a nigga to be like, I don't want to have any rights to take care of this baby because I didn't want it and she wanted it, so she get to keep it. I feel like it could open up the doors to argue that, if that makes sense. If I am I explaining that right? I feel like if it's allowed for them to do it, just to leave it on her responsibility once she say, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it." I feel like it could open up the door for deadbeat men to be like, "Yeah, I fucked her, but I don't want to have no baby by you. So you choose to have it after I want you to have an abortion. You have all the responsibilities." I feel like that's like the I don't know. I feel like that would happen. Like that would open up the door for that. Come through dark and lovely. Yes, my vamp in my vamp era. Back to my vamp era. How are you, Naira? Yes, so I think that can open up that door. Hey, Shonette, couldn't she get jail time? I don't know if she could get jail time. Yeah, no shade. I'm not finna terminate my pregnancy if it means I also terminate my coins. That is a that is a question to be considered. It's not like I was doing this for my fucking health. Okay. Let me see what I got in my nose. So this is what I want to ask y'all too. So do y'all think you can contract do you think that you should be able, you can, or can you contract away your bodily autonomy? If you voluntarily agree to something involving your body, can you later change your mind? Isn't that what we always talk about when it comes to consent? Yeah, I may have said yes at the beginning of this date or the beginners, and then it's not feeling right. I can say no because it's my body. Ain't that what we teach about consent? Like we always teach about consent. Like you can reject consent when it comes to your body anytime, right? Okay. So if you voluntarily agree during signing of this contract, and then for whatever reason you change your mind, it's your body, your choice. Shouldn't you have a right to change your mind when it comes to bodily autonomy? Or does this contract force me out of that autonomy? Gigi says she went against the rules of the contract, which she can do, but she's responsible for what comes for voiding the contract. Even if your contract your body away, cause people can get predated on financially. What does that mean? Explain that a little bit more. Even if you even if you contract your body away, cause people can I need you to retype that so I can understand it. Men do it with sperm, and I'm not too sure of the ethics there either. I think it's scary. It's legal to sell your body to carry a baby, but you can't legally sell your body to have sex. Oh, glory. Come on, Callie. Amen. Why the girls can sell their pussy for a baby to come in it, but I can't sell my pussy for some dick to get up in it for a little coin. Seem a little shady to me. Seem like some motherfucking shady works to me. A little double standard. Um, you can, but once you sign over the control, you have to do the hard work of undoing it. You should have the right to change your mind. Autonomy is implied without a contract of this nature. It's funny how the paperwork limits that. Holistic feminist analysis. Next time, the penalty should be drafted in the contract. The contract stands, and since it's not her baby, she should have a penalty. But isn't the penalty you just don't get paid? Or you think it should be something else? We live in an economically precarious time, so it is a bit scary to think about punishing or even compelling someone to go through a bodily procedure against their will, even if you contract your body away. I agree. Because people can get predated on financially. I don't understand that sentence. Explain it. Explain that sentence right there to me. Because people can get predated on. Am I saying that right? Predated on financially. Are you saying preyed on? Is that what you mean? Okay, I couldn't get it. I'm like, I don't know what predated. I'm thinking like predated, like something that happens before the date, and I'm like, I didn't know. People can get preyed on financially. Okay, now I get what you're saying. You okay? I did. I couldn't clock it. I couldn't use my context clues. My context clues brain wasn't on. I don't see a problem with her choosing to keep the baby, even if the adoptive parents were clear about the kind of baby they wanted and are willing to pay for. That's tricky because I believe you should be able to change your mind on a contract is legal, but change your mind. A contract is legally binding. I guess, right? The stipulations around changing your mind into the contract. That's what somebody said that a few seconds ago. Who said that? Somebody said that. I think. Ik, I don't know how to say that. Iklund. Um, I'm just confused on if she's still seeking financial support from the adoptive parents. If she's not wanting to give the money she received back. Um, if I'm to understand correctly, I think that it's I pay you up front, take care of your needs while you're doing that, and then you get another sum, the rest of the money when the baby comes. So I don't think that she need to pay back for the beginning, but she just won't get her sum at the end. I don't know. But that's what I thought. That's what I think what the customary way for it to happen. You get paid to get it started, and then you get paid at the end. And of course, they take care of whatever costs you have in regards to the baby in between. My thing is that baby isn't hers biologically, so it's really not put up of so I'd really not put up a fight, but she's different. Yeah, trying to keep somebody else's baby that's not yours biologically is kind of weird. Um, at least here in the US, breaching a contract has a implied penalty. You'll get sued and found legally responsible to make the other party whole. Gotcha. Yeah, that's true. Oh, people are supporting her. She raised 120K already in I'm reading. Yes, because the right wing pro lifers are using this case as an example. They're definitely supporting. That's why she went to Texas. That's why it felt. I really want to know her mindset, because coming to Texas felt like a strategic move. Like it felt. It makes me feel. Sometimes I put on my silver conspiracy theory hat. Like the right wing people put somebody in the surrogate circles to be able to do this. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it feels like this all was a setup. Like why would you run to Texas? It feel weird. I don't know. It feel like did y'all plan this to play these kind of games? But I guess you couldn't plan a baby having a heart condition. Do you see what I'm saying? You couldn't plan a baby having a heart condition. That's the issue. She agreed to get the abortion if the embryo had problems, and then she changed her mind. Right. As a adoptive parent, I sue for the initial money. I think that something happened. I think the parents, the adoptive parents are the ones who are getting like they're siding with the adoptive parents, but they're not forcing her because she went to Texas. It's stopping. Right. They seize on it. Yeah, son, they're fucking vulture. McNuggets, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all really like this? Well, black hair is my classic. This is my natural hair. So I always not natural hair is in my real hair, but my natural color. So of course it's the same as a dumb white student who were suing schools because black kids got scholarships because their trans teachers failed them because they're inept. Okay. Let me see. Some of the questions that I had. What does informed consent actually look like? We talked about that, like, because we're talking about consent. That's a consent. If this is my body, I should be able to change my mind whenever I want. And this, to me, I know people who may be transphobes or who may come across this and may not be cool with trans people or whatever. The reason why this is important to somebody like me who is I'm never going to be a birthing person. Why this is important to me is because I think that where we all stand when it comes to bodily autonomy, when it comes to body sovereignty, when it comes to the control, our innate right to control our bodies, I have an invested interest in those rights, because as a trans person, if they impede on a cisgender woman's rights, if they impede on a disabled person's rights, because y'all know, the Bell case years ago, Bell versus somebody, I can't remember, Bell versus somebody, a disabled, one of the iconic cases in America that forced a woman, because she was mentally I don't know what the word for it, but she was, I don't know what the word for it, mentally disabled. They forced her to get sterile. And so that type of the activists worked hard to undo the harm of that case. That's kind of like the Plessy versus Ferguson case when it comes to black people and all that kind of stuff. It was one of them landmark cases that was against us, and we worked hard to fight against it. And so disabled people worked hard to fight against the Bell versus, God, let me look up that Bell, because it's Bell versus something. Buck versus Bell in 1920. It's a notorious Supreme Court decision where they ruled 8-1 that the state could constitutionally force the sterilization of individuals deemed feeble-minded um, or intellectually disabled for the whole point was to protect the health of the state, like literally because you are retarded. Or we don't, they say we can't use retarded no more, but literally because you have a mental disability, we don't want you to keep making more retarded babies. No, thank you, because that make the state look bad. That's literally what the fuck they were saying, and so they sterilized multiple of this lady family of this lady's um these ladies' kids. But the gag is the whole reason why they did it is because one of the dudes was molesting her. And they went through this whole process and she got pregnant. And they went through this whole process to avoid all this sterilization shit to avoid holding him accountable for raping the disabled girl. It's a long fucking story and late tired, but Buck versus Bell, if y'all interested in researching that case. And so, yeah, when we talk about bodily autonomy as a trans woman, I think it's important because all of us are connected. Disabled people, cis people when it comes to abortions, reproductive justice, trans people when it comes to gender affirming care, what I want to do with my body in regards to how I want to get surgeries to make, to alleviate my gender dysphoria. I don't want the state to have to come in, um, and wear me out. I don't want the state to be able to wear me out and control what I can do with my body. Thank you. Carrie Buck. It was Buck and her daughters too. It wasn't just Carrie. They all was a part of the case, if I remember correctly. And I think Carrie's daughter was mentally disabled. Somebody was mentally disabled within the case. Somebody was. I can't remember. I think it was her daughter. It was a family of like poor, some of them mentally disabled. It was a whole like group of them. Yeah. I think that could be true too. Just because she was poor and uneducated, they made it seem like she was feeble-minded. But if she had good education, she wouldn't be feeble-minded. So can a surrogate agree beforehand to an abortion? What happens when the surrogate changes their mind? We talked about that. Should intended parents have an authority over the pregnancy decisions? At what point does the control becomes an attempt to control someone's body? I think that's what we all have been discussing, like, because it's kind of like it gets real shaky. And can you honor a contract without being can you honor a contract without believing that a person becomes property of the contract? Like, Is that right for somebody to be able to take your rights away, contract you to your autonomy away contractually? Like, do y'all think that that is right? Not in this case, any case. Do you think that your rights can contractually be taken away? Can your autonomy over your body be contractually taken away? Like, do you think that's right for somebody to be able to do in any circumstance? I thought they agreed to let her give birth and she still ran. Hmm. But I think somebody ruled in favor of the parents. I don't know the details about that. Somebody rules in favor to them. Jenny said, not right now. What do you mean by that, Jenny? Hey, Roots. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, RL. Did I miss anybody? Ray. Hey, Day. How are you? I used to watch you years ago. Stories always had me laughing. Thank you so much. No problem. Thank you for watching. She should have terminated the baby. It doesn't have her DNA. The interesting thing is people who become surrogate typically don't do it for financial gain. The surrogates that are selected typically have good careers. Sorry, I meant to not take away from the autonomy. Right, to take away from the autonomy. Okay. Um, I feel like I want you to think about it. If you were a person who couldn't have kids and you wanted to have children and you saved all of this money for a surrogate and you took the precautions in taking care of this person in getting contracts and lawyers and doing all the right things that you're supposed to do to make sure you protect them and protect yourself, and then you as the intended parent enter the agreement expecting certain rights and responsibilities when it comes to the child. And how would you feel is if you've invested all of this money and time in this situation and you contractually took care of everything and then boom, they renege on the contract? I don't know if that wouldn't feel fair to me. And I don't know if I would be able to accept, oh, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it goes. It's her body, her choice. Girl, what? You came in this situation. This was like a business deal. Yeah, I don't know if your career really makes a difference because I know a lot of people who have a great job making good money, but they live above their means, and so they're fucking broke all the fucking time. They can't do nothing. They ain't got no time because they got to work all day to pay these high ass bills, to live in this condo, to live in this house. They be broke, even though they have a good job. They still broke, so they need extra. So it's just as important to make this money that's coming in for these babies as, like a sex worker needing money to do what they need to do. You sublet your uterus and now you want to be a slumlord. Not the pussy slumlord. That is funny. That's a key. That's funny. um all right. So okay, the surrogacy and adoption problem. What if, because I'm trying to have a rounded conversation about this. McKenna pulled a son and she's making money off the MAGA's gonna take care of her. Amen. Y'all remember, did y'all watch that documentary called AKA Jane Doe on Hulu? I once that Hulu was being weird about, what did I cancel Hulu for? I canceled Hulu a while ago for something. They did something weird. Did they cancel Jimmy Kimmel? Is that what I left them for? Maybe. Anyway, I canceled them. But they had a documentary on there called, also known as Jane, and baby, the chick who was the defendant, the main chick in Roe versus Wade, Jane Doe, she got Roe versus Wade implemented, and then she switched to the other side and start, because she was poor and broke. She switched to the other side because they had more money than the left. The right wing had more money and was giving her money, so she was doing a speaking engagement. She was making like $400K a year doing speaking engagements against abortion, even though they won the abortion. Dobbs, not Dobbs. Dobbs is the one that overturned it. But is that the one? Anyway, she started doing speaking engagements on the right just because she was poor and broke. And then during this documentary on her deathbed, she was like, I always been for abortion, but I just needed the money. They had more money than the people on the left. It was a gag. Y'all need to watch it. It's so good. Y'all need to watch it. You not only learn about the history of Roe versus Wade, but you learn about the person who was the main person involved and how she got pregnant and what happened with her, how she became the main case. You know, it's crazy. It's wild. Anyway, so let me say this. What if, because I want to have a well-rounded conversation about it. What if the problem isn't just government interference? Because this is getting weird when you try to bring the government in it. You feel what I'm saying? What if the system itself creates opportunities for exploitation? And when we're talking about systems, we're talking about this whole business of surrogacy and adoption. You feel what I'm saying? The whole business of it. Because when we think about economic pressures for people, we just kind of brought that up. That it might be people have a little good job and blah, 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 blah. But it might be, honey, motherfuckers is desperate. So if you want to pay me $20,000 to carry this baby, cool. I got healthy. I'm healthy. Let's go. And so it's almost kind of like really teetering on that trafficking. It goes back to what Callie was talking about earlier. How ain't this kind of like selling pussy? How the fuck? Your uterus, you can sell your uterus to use, but you can't sell your vagina for use. What? So the economic pressures that can lead people to do it, the wealth disparities between the surrogates and the intended parents, like that is an imbalance of power. If one of them doesn't have enough money and one of them does, and so it can force them into making decisions that they really don't want. And not, yes, adoptions most definitely is shady as fuck. Medical power, the contracts, even like the problem with commodifying reproduction. Like it just feels like, is that not trafficking? Like, one, because when we think about trafficking, we thinking about like sex work and pussy and pleasure and selling your literal vagina for use of pleasure. Do you see what I'm saying? Um, but in this case, commodifying reproduction, you're selling your uterus. And so for some reason, the laws ain't came, the government and laws hasn't come in to kind of regulate that. They ain't said that that's trafficking. They ain't said that that's, it goes back to what Callie was bringing up, that kind of hypocrisy, that kind of like nuance where it's like, how is this illegal and sinful and wicked, but all of a sudden this right here is legal? Like I can sell you, I can rent you my fucking vagina for baby incubation. It's like, what? And also, who gets to decide what constitutes an acceptable pregnancy? So just because the baby from your fucking raggedy ass sperm and eggs, something wrong with it. You get to say it's not acceptable. No, this is the baby you fucking had, and I'm birthing it. And so, girl, this is pay me my coins. Who get to say what an acceptable pregnancy is and what is not? Just because this baby has something is not perfect as you want it to be. Fuck out of here. And then literally, if you think about it, the actual child in this scenario is becoming the commodity, which isn't that trafficking? Like you selling a child. Do y'all get what I'm saying? It feels like it's teetering on, like, is surrogacy and adoption, is it human trafficking? That nigga said this is all legalized trafficking. Like, it feels weird. People don't make sure y'all thumbs up if you're enjoying the conversation. Ooh, this is the first time I looked at it and it's almost equal. It is 44 people in here. Make sure, and only 32 have thumbs up. Make sure you thumbs up. Well, it was 38 a few seconds ago. Anyway, surrogacy and adoption are not legally synonymous with human trafficking. They don't legally, it's not synonymous, but that doesn't mean they are humane. I mean, that doesn't mean that they're immune from exploitation, coercion, and commodification, like or ethical problems. It can get weird. And so I feel like the big question for me is, can something be consensual and still exist inside an exploitative system? This week, on the podcast, Bree asked me, could you be a feminist and a radical feminist and be a sex worker? Because to her, the implication is this contradictory. And I was like, it can be. I feel this. I answered in the sense of, I feel like if I'm empowered to do what I want with my body, and this is consenting adults doing it, I don't feel like exploited. I don't feel like it's exploitative. It's me providing a service. I feel like I'm consenting to provide a service, and this is what it is. Now, I can see somebody could say that, are you really making the choice if you're making the choice through a financial need? Like, would you be a sex worker if you had abundance of opportunities? In my personal story, no, I would not have been a sex worker. But I know there was a time in my life where I didn't need the money and I was working and I still was sex working. During that time, it is because I wanted to, not because I had to. And so, and I know some people who do sex work because they like to do it. Um, it's not because they have to do it. And so so yes, I think that it can be something can be consensual and still be inside of an exploitative system. But I think you can choose to play the game. Like you can choose to be a part of it. Some people see their sex work as an art form almost. And I think some people, because I want to keep the conversation on surrogacy, and I think some people think of their surrogacy as a ministry. Like I'm helping somebody become a mother who can't become a mother on their own with their own body. It's a ministry. I'm actually doing this because I feel like not only do I get paid for it, but I'm doing it for somebody who to give them the opportunity to be a mother, to give them an opportunity to be a father with their wife. And you see what I'm saying? Like it's they think of it as like a ministry. They're using their body to bless somebody else. That's the American experiment. We get to agree to be exploited. Hmm. Is it American experiment or capitalistic experiment? Um. So, in regards to this kind of situation where this is a system that could possibly be trafficking and it's so close to trafficking, um, how do we protect people? How do we protect people from exploitation without giving the government unlimited authority over their bodies? Because I'm not sure I'm down with the government coming in controlling that. Because we know, especially as Black people, we know that it's important for us to have self determination, Black bodies, and the right to self determination. That's what's going to be the next subject because we know that historically, Black people have experienced both. We must, Black women and men, but especially the burden of Black women, um, cis women, you must reproduce. That simultaneously is somebody saying you should not reproduce. So we've, based on racism in this country, we have been in social situations where they saying you have to reproduce for me, and we don't have the right to our bodies during slavery, blah 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 blah. And then when they felt like our numbers was getting out of hand, we get the eugenics and all the Planned Parenthood negative history about Black people that Margaret Sanger and W.E.B. Du Bois. People don't talk about that. He's looked at as a Black intellectual icon, but he also was in the talented 10th. And when Margaret Sanger, or was it Susan B. Anthony or Margaret Sanger? I think it was Margaret Sanger. When they were trying to, the information, when they were consulting with him, he was making it seem like Black folks, W.E.B. Du Bois, Black icon, he was making it seem like Black folks needed to be sterilized, the ones that was not of to par to respectability politics. So people don't talk about that enough. That a Black man was advising that white woman to be very eugenic. Not saying that he had they was already on it, but he reinforced it as a Black intellectual. Um So it got to a point where they were like, we should not reproduce. So when it comes to yes, yes, Turner. Yes, because he was one of the in his early part of his career, he was one of the the talented too who feel like, there's a black people who low level, who don't have any intellect, who is low class, and they don't need to fucking reproduce. So yes. He would love Jay-Z. Facts. So we know good and well when it comes to bodily autonomy as black people, particularly black women, um, because we black women was forced, cis women were forced into reproduction. Um, Rape and sexual exploitation, medical experiments. We know about J. Marion Sims and being the father of gynecology, experimenting on black women's bodies without anesthesia and doing all this crazy ass testing, killing the babies, killing them, all kinds of crazy ass shit in the name of science. Um, and he's getting celebrated as the father of gynecology. We know that. Um, we know we have a history, black and brown people have a history of forced or coerced sterilization. One of our icons in 1961, Fannie Lou Hamer, underwent surgery to remove fibroids, which we know that the disparity that when it comes to fibroid disproportionately affecting black women. And instead of her getting surgeries on her fibroids, they did a hysterectomy without her knowledge or consent. So they literally took her uterus out so she couldn't have children. Um, and in her research, she found out that 3 out of 5 of all black women from her county, she was from Rouville, Sunflower County, 3 out of 5 women in her county underwent unwanted sterilization. So there literally was stopping black babies from being born without the knowledge of these women. They were forcing them to tricking them into getting hysterectomies. And this is in Mississippi. And if you know Mississippi, even to this day, but definitely then, but even to this day, Mississippi has one of the highest percentages of black population in the state out of the whole country. I think the only place that's a little bit more is DC, actual DC proper. I think I don't know what it's called, but DC. Um, but they have such a high. I think they're like in the 40s. 40% black people. I think. So sterilization was a part of it, of course. Eugenics. We just talked about that. Obstetric racism when it comes to racism in the medical field where they're just being shady to us just based in the medical field. um all the contemporary maternal health disparities when it comes to black women and birth, um or any birthing person. So when we ask ourselves about reproduction, what does reproduction freedom actually mean? Because it can't just be simply the right to have a child and not have a child. We also got to think about the right to actually fucking survive the fucking pregnancy. When we think about the black women's maternal health, um, the right to make medical decisions for yourself and your body, the right of informed consent. You need to be informed about what's going on with the surgeries, and can't nobody do something to you without you knowing. That's what we were talking about with the sterilizations. Um, like I need to be able to believe my doctor, and just the simple right to control our bodies. I think it's important for us. I think it's important for us to be skeptical of systems that could modify our bodies. Period. Any system, particularly in this particular case, is McKenna West weaponizing her bodily autonomy. I don't know if I would consider it weaponizing. If I'm making it, only way I would consider it weaponizing is if she's in cahoots with, if that was the intention, to be in cahoots with the right. And I just can't see why you would go to Texas unless you were in cahoots. Unless you went there to be in cahoots. I think once you start doing that, that's when it feels like weaponizing to me. But I don't think the necessarily the early parts was weaponizing it. Like if you change your mind, it's like, ooh, I don't know if I want to go through an abortion. Like say the decision to go through the abortion, it was just a medical decision. Like I don't want to go through an abortion. I don't mind going through the pregnancy, but I don't want to go through the abortion. What if that was the decision she made? I don't think that that's necessarily weaponizing. But if you say, "Ooh, I don't want to go. I want to go through this pregnancy because I want the money," and they trying to get me to abort at this point, and I go to Texas because I know they'll help me not abort the baby. I think that that's weaponizing your autonomy. um, I think we should be skeptical of systems that commodify reproductive labor. I feel like when it comes to these systems of adoption and surrogacy, I think we need to be skeptical of the systems and how that works. We need to be really delicate about that, but also skeptical of the government coming in claiming authority over any anybody's reproductive decisions, especially Black women. Because, honey, we already been there, done that. Don't play with us. I don't think that that's necessarily weaponization to me. I don't think that that's necessarily weaponizing it. Changing your mind, I don't think is weaponizing it. I think the intent is important. The context and intent is important. Um, I did want to hit on why I think trans people should care, just like I was talking about earlier. Why this case, I have an invested interest in it. Um, Even though I know Black cis women and Black trans people don't experience bodily control in identical ways, I know that. But we have a shared interest in resisting um, institutions that claim unlimited authority about our bodies. I don't. I think we have to stave that off. I think that I, I think that that can be a slippery slope. um, because when we talk about cis women or female body people who have a uterus, when we historically there's like you should reproduce or you shouldn't reproduce, just depending on what the patriarchy needs to gain. um they get to say, they try to tell you what's best for you when it comes to your pregnancy, to keep the child, not keep the child, whatever, religious base. um they like to come in and say they know what's best for you. And I think there's a similar thing when it comes to controlling our body as far as trans people, because we hear you aren't really who you are, so don't do that to your body. You shouldn't have access to this particular health care because either I religiously disagree with it, or I feel like it's not the right time for you. I feel like you could change your mind. I feel like this is going too far. I feel like this is a mental illness. We know what's best for you and your body because you were born a male or because you were born a female. We know what we should be able to do, and the state should determine what medical care you should have access to. And while that's different histories and different battles, the shared principle in cis women or trans men or anybody who can birth and our bodies, anybody who has overlap, is self-determination. The shared principle is that we should have self-determination about our bodies. And when you let the government come in and rule that shit, it can get fucking ugly. And so I want to ask y'all, can you defend somebody's right to make a decision about their body even when you personally disagree with their decision? I think about that in the cases of when people get older and want to fucking kill themselves because I have cancer, terminal cancer or terminal illness, and I don't want to wait to die. I want to get it out the way because I'm old and my family is dead and I'm here by myself and I'm ready for it to go. And I don't want to wait to just let nature run its course. I know I have a terminal illness and I want assisted death. It's situations like that. Should they be able to choose that even though you disagree with the decision of them making that? Or say you religiously disagree with suicide on that level. Do you think that you could defend the right to somebody to make a decision about their own body, even when you personally disagree with that decision? What do y'all think about that? Hey, Bless. It's just like transitioning. It's our body. We can customize that however, right? But she had informed consent. You knew beforehand that an abortion was on the table. She said yes. Then when told her, okay, you had to get one, how does she get to change her mind? I feel like you should always be able to change your mind. That's what we were talking about earlier about consent. It's like if a man if you say yes to a man, yet say yes to sex, and then in the middle of it starting, you change your mind. You should be able to change your mind. It doesn't matter. Yes, I said yes then 2 seconds ago. Now, 2 seconds later, I changed my mind. Now I have new information, or now I have new feeling. And so I changed my mind. I don't that's what we were talking about earlier. I don't think you can. I feel like I would have a hard line. I don't feel like you should be able to contractually take away your right to autonomy. I don't care what the fuck you sign. If you change your mind, you change your mind. I think that that is the question. Do you getting the outcome somebody else getting the outcome they want, or their your body autonomy? I don't know. I think I'm gonna always side in this particular case, or a case like this. As a trans person, I feel like my bias as a trans person is gonna always put me on the side of Miss West, McKinney West. I feel like, even though I intellectually understand that she could be weaponizing this, and I intellectually know that right wing people will hop on it and make it and use this as an opportunity, as somebody said earlier, they're fucking vultures. They will do that. I'm still I'm still a person that's gonna side with her making the decision, full control, body autonomy over her own body. I don't care what she signed. I don't care about all of that. I don't care. Do I think you gotta accept penalty, like somebody said earlier? I think if there's a penalty with you breaking the contract, you gotta accept that. Yes, I think that that's appropriate. But I think ultimately the decision is theirs. I think you should. I think you should. I think you gotta. I think you should. I don't think you get to keep it though. I don't think you get to keep it. I think changing your mind about. I don't. eh, I think if this is their DNA, I think that they have rights to the baby once it comes out. You get to make the choice to have the abortion or have the baby to full term, but you don't get to keep the baby at all. I don't think that she should have rights to the baby at all. I think it could I think if they brought a civil lawsuit, I don't know if tell me what's criminal. Tell me the criminal harm. I think I can see a civil harm, but I don't know if I could do what's criminal to when you say criminal harm, what's criminal? The child, God willing, is gonna gag at all of this when they get old enough. Girl, gag many other things in the world. It's gonna gag them too, child. You can't avoid a gag. um they have a baby. They explicitly told her that they did not want, but I don't think that that's criminal. It's kind of like goes back to what I was saying about cis dudes. If you when you put yourself in this situation where you're giving this woman your eggs and your sperm to make a baby, that is a part of a part. It's kind of like when you fuck this girl and she get pregnant, you fucking raw. Well, I told her I didn't want no baby, but you was fucking raw. Once you decide you fucking and you having sex, this is always a possibility. And it's the same thing with them. I feel like when you hire a surrogate, this is always a possibility that you just got to accept that this could go awry. And so do I think that breach of contract, can they sue her? I think that that's fair. But I don't know if it's criminal. I don't feel like she should be able to go to jail for breaking a contract. I think they should be able to sue her. I don't think it's criminal in that sense, if that makes sense. I think they have a civil claim, but I don't think they have a criminal claim. Is it criminal if he wears a condom and she pokes a hole in it? No, because how would you know it's the hole? Condoms are not 100%. Condoms are not 100%. Without the hole, like without the hole in it, condoms are not 100%. If you're having sex and you have a penis and you're putting your penis in a vagina, there's always a potential, low potential with the right precautions, but it's always a potential. Yeah, I think they're suing her, and I think they either got the baby. I think they sued her, and they got it on her. They sided with the parents. Um, I think doing something to a condom breaks consent because that's not the kind of sex y'all agreed to make it criminal to me. I wouldn't be against that. Like I wouldn't be like I wouldn't argue that. Now I was side eyeing like nigga, you out here fucking. This is a potential, but if somebody if some consequences came from that and it could be proved that there was holes and all that kind of shit done, then I wouldn't. I do think that that's a consent thing. It's kind of like taking a condom off. And people are calling that assault. So that could be criminal. I could see how that could be. I wouldn't argue against it because when you start doing shady shit, girl, get out of here. That's a good point. But as far as responsibility for a child, I don't think the person male should get off that easily. Yeah, I think that that's the word. Um it will get witchy for me. Because I don't know if you prove that you intentionally put a hole in a condom, that intent will change my mind about the responsibility on the father. I think if it can be proved that something like that happened, then I would be like, girl, you tried that. Take care of that baby on your own. He's divesting. It's something about that that feels like I wouldn't side with her. They didn't consent to a baby with a heart condition. I don't think that's the same thing. But it's still her body, though. It's still her body. It still goes to the fact of when it comes to medical decisions about my body, I don't want to go through with an abortion. And you, regardless of you getting in cahoots with me about a surrogate baby, this comes with the territory. And you have to accept that these things could go awry. I wouldn't side with the parents in that. I would side with McKenna. When it comes to whether or not she can have the baby or not. Now, because that is their DNA, they would have to take the baby and take care of the baby. Because it's their property. Here you go. When does protection become control? This is what we're talking about. I think this is what we're talking about. When does the state's interest in protecting the child justify overriding an adult's autonomy? Also, we got to think about this case has 3 different frameworks: Alaska, California, and Texas. And each one of them have different legal frameworks when it comes to all of this stuff. Which is what goes back to, I feel like going to Texas was to have the baby. Going to Texas was strategic, because why would you do that? That just feels weird. I would want to hear her mindsets. Should your rights change just because you cross a state line? When it comes to these things that we're talking about, should your rights change when you cross state lines? When it comes to abortion, when it comes to surrogacy, when it comes to gender affirming care, when it comes to fertility treatments, when it comes to parental rights? Is that even fair on its own? Like, as soon as I cross the state lines, I have a whole new set of rights. That's normal, but is that right? Is that right to have our system set up like that? Should there be laws across the board about these things? What happens when your medical rights are depend on the state that you're in? How fair is that? Hey, Tiffany, thank you. How fair is that? I don't know if that's right or fair. For me, the state fed gov interest overrides her autonomy because she signed away her autonomy in a legal protected contract. Yeah, I don't think that you could ever do that. I hope the state government finds her criminally negligent. Yeah, no, I'm on the opposite side of you in that regards. I don't think you should. I think that there are certain unalienable rights that you have, and I feel like bodily autonomy is one. I feel like they can't. It's like whatever the Bill of Rights, the justice and liberty, all of that. Is certain rights that the government can't take away from you, and I think bodily autonomy is one of those rights. I think it can. I think it's fair for it to be a civil situation where if you break the contract like any other contract, I don't think it's criminal. I think that it's civil and they can sue you for breaking the contract. I think that is where I think you can have penalties in that way, but I definitely don't think that anything should be forced by the government. I think you can sue, because there's a way, like, for example, like when I sued my high school, I didn't sue them for money. I sued to force them to let me go to the prom in a gown, and won. It wasn't money. But I don't think the parents should be able to sue her to force her to have an abortion. But if the contract says that you're supposed to have an abortion when we tell you to, and that's what we agreed on, if something's wrong with the pregnancy, then you're breaching the contract and we can sue you for monetary. There can be a monetary penalty. I think I would agree with that. I think it's a civil breach. And so I would want her to have consequences in that way, but not criminal consequences and not consequences on whether or not she get to choose what she does with her body. I don't think a contract could nullify your body sovereignty. I don't think a contract should ever be able to nullify that. Yeah. It's too slippery of a slope, because if you allow the government to come in and control you in that way, they are vultures. Somebody said it early. They are fucking vultures. They, especially soon as the right wing people get in office and get in control, they will they will go crazy when it comes to bodily autonomy, when it comes to informed consent, when it comes to medical privacy, when it comes to self-determination, what you can do with your body, freedom from coercion, when it comes to parental rights, when it comes to children's rights, when it comes to protection from exploitation. If you allow them to come in and control all of that stuff, you're going to be vulnerable to a bunch of fucking unfair shit that I don't think we are. I don't think that this one case or cases like this are worth what we will be exposing ourselves to. Yes, and that's why I'm against the reversal of Roe versus Wade. I'm against that. I didn't. I don't think it should have been reversed. And so, to close the conversation out, where are we at? We are like, okay, yeah. To close the conversation out, I feel like even though, because once again, I'm a Black trans woman, I do not have a risk of getting pregnant. I promise you. Hey, honey, I have no dog in this fight, no horse in this race, but I got a dog in this fight. If that makes sense. So I'm not at risk of being in this case at all, but my autonomy around my body and the government controlling it, I do have an invested interest in that. And while this is one of those, and I'm going to talk about this in another live, I'm outlining another live that I want to do, because this is leading to that. I think that as a trans person, no, my experience as a trans person is not like cis women. And that's okay. It's not exactly the same experience, and that's okay. Um, to me, the question is, I feel like we've learned enough from both of our separate histories to recognize the same danger when we see a government power expanding its rule and reach over our bodies. Get it? We have a trans people have enough history, cis women have enough history to know when we allow these motherfuckers to go too far, they will go too far. What's the saying? Give a motherfucker an inch, they try to take a mile. And so I feel like this is one of the moments, if we give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, and it's going to affect me as a trans person. Because once you accept that the state has the authority to decide which intimate medical choices are acceptable, the question becomes who is going to be targeted by that authority next. Y'all clocking that? Like, as soon as we allow them to come in and make these choices around intimate shit, like our body and our medical shit, they're gonna be like, what's that? Sometimes we see it on like zombie movies where the zombie will be chasing something, and then when another prey get close and they see it, they go after that. That's what I'm visualizing. If you're on food stamps, you can't have babies type shit. That part. That's an element too. But yeah, I feel like once you give them the weapon to harm us, who is that weapon going to be pointed to? And as a Black trans woman, I feel like we're on the chopping block first. If you give them that authority, because our demographic is not going to have the same sympathy that somebody might have for a McKenna West, as opposed to we see what's happening with trans people now. We can't go to the state of Florida or the state of Texas and have people raising $120K for us because they're standing in solidarity with us. We're not going to have that same kind of open arms. Does it make sense? But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the McKenna West case, and yeah, that's all my thoughts. That's all my thoughts on it. What do y'all want to talk about now? What's on y'all mind for this last little 30 minutes? What's going on in the world? No. I love this little silver ring. It's like a little cute. Did you watch Joe versus Donnell? I did not watch it, but I have seen clips this early today. I always felt like, girl, who is thinking that Donnell Jones was going to beat Joe? Joe was going to demolish him. Let's talk about something fun. What is something fun you want to talk about? You know, I wanted to ask you about Jools and Jeffery Starr. Didn't Jools read the fuck out of Jeffery Starr? That was a kiki. I thought that was funny, but I also feel like Jeffree Star is like rich based on his cosmetic shit. And so for me, I didn't understand the part about them not. I know they may not be celebrated the way they want to be celebrated, but honey, they've had success. A wild success behind that shit, behind the makeup shit. So they're living high on the hog. They may not be being celebrated, but the way they want to. They might be because Jeffree Star is kind of infamous, right? And so, because they're racist and transphobe and all that kind of shit, aren't they like right wing or anti-trans right wing or something? I don't follow them. I block them. So I don't know what they got going on. But I did hear Jools read. But I also think I talked about this on the podcast this week. Or was it last week? I can't remember, but I feel the whole Jewel situation is silly. Them tripping about her asking to get her teeth fixed, girl. Why are y'all tripping about it? To be Lady Gaga, you believe that? Does Jeffree Star sing? Is Jeffree Star talented in that way? I never saw that. That's what Akon said. Really? But Akon is a buffoon. Like Akon is a buffoon too. Like Akon is like a African Charleston White. He's like a weirdo. He's like Akon is a fucking loser. Like one of them conspiracy theories dummy people. Like Akon is worse than fucking Umar Johnson. It failed, but it's back when Akon was with Lady Gaga. Child, I don't think it's silly, but people like to virtue signal. People were over Jools because Jools has used GoFundMe multiple times, post popular blow up. So people were over it because of her doing it again. But I feel like I think that that's silly and annoying. Don't fucking donate. How the fuck you tripping about somebody having a GoFundMe or asking for money or asking for donations? I ask for donations every episode. I literally got a commercial that happens on my podcast that says, hey, if you want to support, become a Patreon. That's how we keep going. That'd be like somebody telling me, why the fuck you keep putting that in the show and in the episode? Why do you keep asking? Why the fuck not? Just if you don't want to get no money, say no. I don't understand. I guess I'm not understanding what's a big deal about her asking a million times for a new, if she do a new GoFundMe every month. Ain't nobody getting robbed. If you don't want to give no money, don't give no money. I'm really trying to understand what's the problem with somebody asking their audience for anything. I don't understand the problem with it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's not like it just feels weird. It feels silly. And because she said she used drugs with her money. Yeah, I think I just feel like if you don't want to give her money because she a dope fiend, don't give her money. If you don't want to give her money because she's asked for money too much, don't give her money. If you why are you I don't understand a backlash for it. I understand somebody saying, oh, you asked for money too much. I understand that sentiment, but I don't understand negativity against her for it. That feels like you just want to have a problem with a trans person. Cause I be seeing other people just asking for shit all the fucking time. I mean, I remember there's a trans guy. Um, what's his name? The one, the seahorse dad, the black one, the one who be having babies. That went viral for having. Is it Caden? Yeah, Caden. I think Caden. Caden be asking for coins all the time. I wouldn't get mad at him. There'd be people asking for GoFundMes and donation all the fucking time. Is fat phobia maybe at play? I think that's a part of it. I don't think it's a main thing, but I think it's a part of it. I think it's transphobia. She's a fat trans woman. I just don't understand it. I just really don't. Maybe I just don't. I'm not sensitive to people asking money. I'm not sensitive to people asking for money. Um, yeah, and it's just not. I'm not. I don't be tripping. I don't. When somebody is asking for coins and I follow them, like it don't trigger anything in me. Like I just be like, I'm broke. I ain't got nothing for you, or I'm not willing to give. I'm just not willing to give. So I'm not. I just don't know. I just don't. It doesn't trigger any kind of annoyance or negative thought process. You ask me for some money, I'm gonna say no and move on. It just doesn't feel like backlash worthy. Now, if you're lying about it, like if you're lying, if you're saying, "Oh, I want to do a GoFundMe to get my teeth done," and then you don't get your teeth done, and you use the money on drugs, that can constitute a backlash. But it feels like everybody's complaining just about asking. That's what I keep hearing. It's not ain't nobody saying we donated this money to her and she didn't do what she was supposed to do with it. I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing you keep asking for money. Girl, so say no. I think people view her being trans, POC, plus size, and a former addict as being choices she made and brought on herself. Like how people think homeless people are just lazy bums. I think that's a good point, and I think that that's wrong. I think you're right, and I think that it don't matter if it's choices or not. If it's choices, you cannot give your coins. It shouldn't be a backlash. It shouldn't be. If you feel like you don't want to give somebody no money, don't give them no money. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if I feel like there's some kind of shady going on or some kind of scamming going on, if I feel any kind of weirdness, if I'm discerning any type of weirdness, it is okay for me to say no. But if this person say yes, I'm not gonna be tripping. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna be like, why are you giving Jools money? She's making her choices. Do you see what I'm saying? It feels really fucking stupid. Like it feels like a fucking hater. Don't give your money. If somebody else want to give it, they give it. If I'm like, I just wouldn't want. I just don't feel like it's that. That's the only thing I don't. I feel. I don't feel like it is backlash worthy. Girl, don't give your coins. If you feel some kind of way, you don't want your coins smoked up, used on teeth, used on cocaine, used on alcohol, used on whatever the fuck a motherfucker gonna use it. Don't give your money. I had to learn that with people, homeless people too. My mother had to teach me that. It don't matter if you want to give it and you have it to give it. If you're worried about it's same thing with borrowing money. When my friends ask me to borrow money, I'm not giving you no money that I need to get back. Like if I have to have this money back, I'm not giving it to you. Only way I'm gonna give my friends some money is if I don't need it. Like if I have some extra money that if you whatever for whatever reason you can't give it back to me and it's not gonna harm me, that is the money I'm gonna give. I'm never gonna give you my rent money. I'm gonna say no. I'm never gonna give you I'm never gonna give you my needs. I'm gonna give you my extra. If I just have extra and I'm not worried about it coming back to me, then I can give that to you. But I'm not giving you my rent money. I'm not giving you any kind of money that I need that I'm like, oh, I'll give it back to you. No, I'm just going to give it to you. Do I want it back? Sure. If you just come back and say, hey, I know I borrowed $300. Here you go. I'm like, oh, thank you. But I'm not going to expect it back. Because if I don't have it to give to you, I'm not giving it. Does that make sense? Like, I'm a giving person, but I'm only going to give you whatever the overflow of my needs are. Like, whatever the overflow, if I have extra, I'm not going to be giving you, I'm not going to be like, oh, you need $1,000 and I got $1,000. We ain't that, I don't have no friend that I would do that for. That I'm giving you my last $1,000. I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not that kind of friend. I'm the type of friend that'll help you figure some coins out. Let's see who can go ask. You can't ask me. I ain't got it. But we can go ask other people who might got it. Can't people take advantage of that? Explain. What do you mean? I don't have to. If I think of what, if I think you're saying what you're saying, I'm not worried about it being me being a take advantage of, because if I have it to give, I have it to give. So if I give it to you, yeah, if I give it to you and I'm not expecting it back, I'm not being taken advantage of. I'm just giving you what I want to give you. It's kind of like if I see a bum on the street, unhoused person on the street, and I give them $20 and they go buy a beer with it, I don't really think about what you're going to do with it. I hope that you're going to buy you some food. I hope that that's what I hope, you're going to buy you some food. If you go buy a burger and a beer, I don't care. I don't think you took advantage of me because you bought you a beer. I don't care. Whatever you felt the need that you needed to do with that $20, go for it. If my friend asked me for $300 and you don't gotta pay me back, just do what you need to do, I'm not tripping about whatever happens. But also, I have you can't keep coming to me like you can't take advantage. That one time is not taking advantage of me. If you keep coming to me every month asking me for your rent money, it's going to get to a point where it's no, no. It's going to be no. They can come back if we're close friends. You can come back, but it's not going to. You're not going to be. You can't keep coming back. Like, to me, I can't give a time, but I think mine is probably like 2 or 3. Like, if you keep coming to me asking me for money, and you, first of all, you can't be a stranger. You have to be somebody that I have relationship with. So if you keep coming to me past 2, 3 times, then we got to have another conversation, because now I feel like you being weird and you're not being financially responsible, and I'm not fucking you. So you're not my nigga, you not my child, and I'm not here to be your bank. And so don't come to me asking me for no more money. Period. And so it's gonna stop. Anything, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be I got taken advantage of, because I'm gonna stop it. The time before I say stop is just me being kind, because you're my friend. You're my friend. I'm being kind. I care for you. And so I'm giving you the money that you need. I've never been in a situation. I've never been in a situation where somebody kept going. Now, I have been in a situation, I think I talked about this one time before. I have been in a situation where somebody I'm not close, I know we know each other, we have a history, but we're not close friends. They sometimes would come to me and ask me for a little bit of money. Nothing crazy like $300, $500, $1,000, something like $10. And to me, that's little. That's like, girl, that's nothing. And so let me give you what happened. So I remember one time she slid in my inbox. I remember we're not close friends, but we have a history. So we went to college together. She was when I was in college, transitioned, fully transitioned and running the streets, being myself. She was a butch queen. And so now she has transitioned and she's one of the girls. And so she kind of talks to me we have a history in that way where I knew her before her transition. She knew me when I was at Jackson State, and you know what I'm saying? We just have a history in that way. So anytime we see each other in public at events, she's like, "Oh yes, the legendary Mrs. Diamond Stylz," and she kind of like that. She cool, and so she has some health issues going on, so she had to go to dialysis and shit. So one time she hits me up and asks me for gas money to go to her dialysis. Now she's very sickly. I know her. I've been in her presence. She is this. So this wasn't a scam. It was the truth. And so this happened twice. It happened like 2 times where she needed some money for gas, or she needed some Uber to somewhere, and I spent like I called the Uber for her, and it was like $15 for her to get to dialysis. So it was 2 times. So the third time, and that's nothing. I even my gay son Brandon, like Brandon will call me when he was broke and he asked me to order him a pizza. I'll order him a pizza. Shit like that I don't really be thinking about that. Now it can't be happening all the time, but it just don't be nothing. So when she did it, I didn't really think about it, because and it wasn't like every week she asked me for $10. It would be a span of like 9 months. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, oh, this is what's going on, and da 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 da. So it happened like twice, 2 or 3 times. I think it was like two. But this is where it ended. So my mom passed in December of 2020. And my mom passed, and everybody, when my mom passed, everybody was sending me condolences. And, when your people pass, they said, people are hitting you up and saying stuff, blah, 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 blah. February, my mom passed in December. February comes along, and she sends me a message asking me for some money to get to gas money to get to her dialysis. Now, the last time she asked me, it was like 9 months before. And so when she asked me, I looked at our history, and in our history of our messages, she never hits me up about anything else. Like when I look at our history for the past 3 times that we've talked, it was just her asking me for something. And no kind of, hey girl, ooh, I listened to your podcast. Ooh, I listened to this, or ooh, I see you at this. It's no kind of conversation of support of me. It was just her asking me for money 3 different times. And that last time was 2 months after my mom passed away. And she hadn't sent a message about condolences about my mom. She hadn't said anything about that. And so here you are in my inbox 2 months, well, that was like a month after my mom had passed, and you haven't said anything about that. You haven't acknowledged it. You haven't said anything about it. And so in that moment, I made the decision that if we're not close enough for you to know that my mom passed, we're not close enough for you to ask me for money. Full stop. If we're not close enough for you to send me a condolences or you to even know what's going on in my life, heavy like that, then to me, we're not close enough for me to be a financial support system, a part of your financial support system. So I told her, I'm going to send you the money. I'm going to send you the money. Because I have it. I'm going to send you the money, but this is the very last time that you can ever ask me for money ever again, because I don't appreciate you just hitting me up for money. And my mom passed away and you didn't even send me condolences. And so this is a parting gift. Absolutely. And so because of that, she started apologizing and she started being, oh my God, I didn't even know. And da 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 da. And that's okay. It's not that I don't believe you. It's not that I don't believe you. It's not about you being a bad person. It's not about me not believing that you didn't know. I actually think you didn't know. But what that indicates is that we are not close. Because everybody who is close to me, that's what happened. They were helping me out and making sure I had to pay for all of my mom's funeral on my own. I got 2 other siblings, grown adult siblings. They didn't contribute to it. And so I had to pay it all on my own. And some of my friends and family helped me. And so you didn't contribute to none of that. You didn't even send me a condolences. So that means we are not close. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you intentionally shaded me or No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we're not close. And so since we are not close, you don't get to ask me for money anymore. Since we're not cool, you're not close enough for that. And so from then on, she would try to slide in my DMs and be like, oh my God, how are you? How are you, Diamond? And girl, you weren't checking on me and asked me how I was before this. Now it's fake. Stop. Leave it alone. It's no beef, it's no hard feelings. We just not close like that. Yes, I was forthright with her. Yeah, I was very direct and told her everything. Yeah, look at our history. Hmm. Our history says that we don't even talk like that, so it's okay. So yeah, so I think I've been in that situation. I've been in a situation where I still love a person and I'm still friends with them, but they can't live with me anymore. I've been in in my younger years. Honey, my house was a fucking like mini trains women. My house was a place people come to live. Like it wasn't until COVID. I want y'all to think about this. It wasn't until COVID 2020. I have never not lived alone. Somebody was always staying with me. it's my place, but somebody either is homeless and need a place to stay, so they staying with me. I've never lived alone. I got custody of my brother when I was 21. So my brother lived with me until shit, when was that? To like 26, from 21 to 26. Um Prior to that, my sister Deja lived with me. Well, didn't live with me, but she was always in my house. Because she lived in a group home. Remember, I aged out of my group home, and she's a year younger than me, so that she was still in the group home. Another one, but she was always at my house because she didn't want to be at the group home. So there's that part. And then when I got custody of my brother, she moved in with me too. Um, and then she moved out. I had a man, so he moved in. So it's my brother and my man. And then I moved in with my mom in Mississippi. So now I live with my mom, my brothers, and her man, and da 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 da. When I came to Houston, I lived with me and Bree, Braylon, Bray, me, and then right then Ty, when y'all introduced to me, Ty moved in with me, moved from Indiana to Houston with me. So that's when the Entrance Heart video started to be made. She lived with me. After she moves out, I that's when Brandon and Kristen. I think I done told y'all the story about the white girl coming to live with me. Brandon and Kristen are off and on living with me, and so most of my all the 2010s in my 30s, it was somebody living with me. Brandon, Brandon and Kristen. Yeah. So once COVID happened, this literally is the first time that I have lived on my own by myself, where nobody is in the house with me. So it has been an adjustment. That's number one. And yeah, I don't know why I said that. I don't know what I was sharing that for, but I always have been. Oh, I just always have been a house where people could stay with me. Now I'm catching why I said it. But I had to get to a point where there's some people who have lived with me that they can't live with me. I will help them out and find them a place to stay, but they can't live with me ever again. It's just a boundary that I have. Some people, they can stay with me whenever they want because we had a positive experience. But there are some people, they can't live with me ever again because the experience wasn't positive. But I love them, but my house is not open to them. Like my brother can come anytime he wants. Um, but there's just certain you can't stay. But yeah, I don't think it's exploitative unless they keep asking and you keep letting them. But I don't really let people do that. Let's see. Did somebody add something else? Off topic, but I looked at Krigler's website. Girl, they are really proud of these fragrances. They are. They're quite expensive, but they were smelling good. There was some good, unique fragrances that smell luxurious. It wasn't no bullshit. It was really nice fragrances that are unique and they don't smell like anybody else. That's the good. I think high end fragrances. That's the judge of it because they are not necessarily accessible to the masses because of the price point. They have unique fragrance profiles, so you're not running around smelling like everybody else. because that's one thing that that annoys me. I don't like fragrances that are too popular. Like, for example, I love Baccarat Rouge. Like, everybody, that's so popular. So many people wear that. It's too popular for me. I love it, but it's too popular for me to wear. I will never wear it. I have two, but I never pull it because I'm annoyed when I walk past somebody and they say, you smell like Baccarat Rouge. I love that fragrance. Girl, I don't want you to know what I got on. I don't know why I'm like that, but it's not because I want it to be, I don't want nobody else to have it. I just don't want to smell like nobody else. I want to smell, I want you to smell me and be like, what is that? That's the response I want to get. And I don't want to be able to say, oh, that's this. I mix fragrances all the time. So what you smell on me is not going to be one scent. It's going to be a combination of complementary scents. So it might be, like I said, like even today, it's going to be Lush and Penhaligon's. These are this combination. So I'm never going to smell like something that you can just go buy because I like to smell unique. And I also don't have a signature scent. That's another thing too. Like, I wish that I was that person. I have scents based on moods. I pick scents based on my fashion. I pick scents based on the season. I pick scents based on the activity. If I know that I'm going on a date, what the fragrances I wear for a date is going to be different than the fragrance I wear while I'm at a conference, or the fragrance that I wear when I know I'm about to do some hanky panky. Um, you know, it's a whole different thing. So I don't like to smell. I don't have a signature scent, which I think some people, um the brand that we're talking about, I think they're like 500. The what, Kegler, Keglers, I think that's how you pronounce it. Keglers. I think they're $500 to $600. I think that was the price on the website. $500 to $600, which is a high end. That's pricey. $500 for a scent is pricey. Other brands like most of the creeds are in like the $400 range. Um, like the creeds, and who else is in the creeds? The Amouage, they are in the like $400, four or 500, $400, not five, $400 range. They got some that are in the higher range though too. But the basic ones are in the $400 range. Um, but then you have like the Tom Fords that are in like the two. Tom Fords are in like the two. Like I think Tom Fords for the regular are like 210 or 250 or something like that. Tom Fords, what other things? Um, two two to three. I think that's the normal. I think like the Gucci's, aren't they, not the specialty scents, but the regular Gucci's, aren't they like $200-300? So that's the mid range. Like the $200-300 is gonna be like they're luxury fragrances, but they're like the low end of the luxury fragrances between 2 and 3. Um, and I think the high ends are gonna be that kind of high ends is gonna be 3 and above to me. And then you got the high upper echelon, which is gonna be like that 5, 6, 8. There's some that's like 7, 8. Them are the specialty ones. Um, but yeah, they do smell nice. They smell great. Laptify, I think I do. I think this is one that I put in this. This is little old school puffer jar, and I use it. This is a this bottle I got from Bath and Body Works, but I put fragrance oil inside of it to spray with the thing, and I think this is the Laugh to Love fragrances. Would you even design a scent? I think I would. If I got the opportunity, I would. I would love to do that. That would be a cool thing to do. I like Prada and Gucci, Million Gold. I don't like any of the Gucci fragrances. I don't remember smelling any of the Prada. I don't think I like any of the fashion houses since. I think maybe Tom. I like Tom Ford, so I think. But the high end fashion houses, I don't think I have any of those. I like my scents to be from actual perfume houses. I love Creed, Melisma, Imperial. I hope I spelled it right. I have a lot of creeds I like. My favorite creed is Windflower. That's my favorite. Like if I had close to a signature scent, that would be my signature. Eh, maybe. Yeah, Creed Windflower is one of my favorites. With Creed, another one with Creed is called Queen of Silk. Ever try Killian? Killian's what's the pink one? Is there one something that has something about loving you or Killian? That's actually that I used to wear them out. Let me see. What's the scent that I like from them? It's a gourmand. Is it Love Don't Be Shy? I think it's Love Don't Be Shy. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think it's Love Don't Be Shy. I love Killian's Love Don't Be Shy. I think it's Love Don't Be Shy. It's pink. Yeah, I love. But I used to wear that all the time, but then it started getting too popular where I'm like, I'm gonna stop wearing you. I'm like, you're getting too popular. I've heard that perfume is really difficult to make. I don't think you would get the. Just depends on what you're trying to make it from. I think if you have a particular floral scent that you like, I don't think it's hard to make. Like you have like you just got one fragrance. Like if you like the fragrance of geranium, I think you can. It's easy to get the fragrance oils out of the plant. But if you want the kind of different mix of scents, then it's kind of it's a problem. It's hard to get all of those different scents. Um, there's other YouTuber I watch called Valerie Does It, who said they tried to make perfume and JT was too hard, so they made lotion instead, and they now also make perfume. I'll eBay an expensive scent so fast. Yeah, that's a way to get it. Um, My first time ever smelling their old fragrances was incredible. They had just opened up on Madison Ave in New York, and they shopkeeper walked us through a bunch of their scents. I heard pear is the hardest to make. The pear fragrance. Mm, I can imagine. Ever tried Trevdon? No, that sounds like a cute name. That sounds like a masculine name. Trevdon. Let me see. Trudon. Oh, I've seen these bottles. I don't think I've smelled them, but I've seen these bottles. Carmen, Mystique, Midnight Omen, Vixie, Mortal. Yeah, you gotta sell me with a bottle. It's called Trudon. Really unique fragrances. I'm obsessed with the candles. It is it like Diptyque? People, I have some friends that love Diptyque. Well, some people I know. I wouldn't call them my friends no more. But some people I know who love Diptyque fragrances, candles, and eau de parfum. mm. Yeah, I've never tried them. They have a fragrance called Church Floors, and it literally what it smells like. What does church floors smell like? What church they go to? Are we talking about a Kojic church? A Catholic church? What does church floor smell like? My church floor smell like fucking pledge. Whatever that wood oil cleaner. Church. Oh. Mm. I think my favorite, yeah, I think Creed, Tom Ford. Trying to think of my houses. Creed, Tom that I buy over and over. Creed, Tom Ford, um, and Amouage. I think my favorite house is Amouage. Homage, however you say it. Would you check out a scent brand to see if there was any that interests you? Sure, you can send it. I'm always willing to try stuff. Well, I have to smell it first. Like I'm not somebody that just randomly buy something, and I don't like that. I need to I need to try it first to see if I like it. But I'm always willing to try different brands. I'm not a Chanel. I have a Chanel that I like called the Lion. L-E, Lion. I do like Lion. But I don't really like Chanel's fragrances. I hate number 5. I hate Mademoiselle. I don't like blue. I do have I've the I do have a signature. I just don't wear it as often anymore. I feel like Dolce and Gabbana the one was my signature scent for a long time. But now that I have gotten into fragrances that are a little bit higher end than that, I don't reach for it as often, but I still love it. It's still one of my favorite scents of all times. Okay, I'll check it out. I don't think I like. I think my favorite Chanel is the Lion, but the Lion is kind of it's a little woody and masculine, so it's might not a little woody and masculine. What did Aretha say? I don't know. What did Aretha say? Um, so- yeah, the one. I still love it. It's one of my. I'll never not buy it. I will never. I love that fragrance. That fragrance has been. I've worn that for years. I think my first scent that reminded me of rich old ladies, not rich old ladies, just rich women, was YSL Opium. And so now, because it came out in the 70s, 80s, now people associate it with being mature. It smells old. But that scent, I love it. It reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of going to church and smelling older women who had money tipping around the church. So that YSL Opium and Clinique Aromatics. I don't know if y'all ever smelled old school fragrance by Clinique called Aromatics. It smells so good, but it does smell like it reminds me of when I would be like 7, 8, 9 at the church, and the church ladies would hug me, and they smelled like it was such a great scent. It was before like white diamonds and shit like that. It was what the you know women of the 80s, 70s, and 80s smell like. I love grandma scents. Yeah, it was YSL Opium and Clinique's Aromatic. Those scents remind me of older rich ladies. Yeah, Clinique. They've been having it for years. Clinique Aromatic. When they launch Aromatic? It had to be in the 80s. It had to be in the 80s. Let me see. Okay, Google. When did Clinique launch their fragrance Aromatic?
Clinique launched Aromatics Elixir in 1971.
Yeah,
Created by
damn.
master perfumer Bernard Chant, it was the brand's very first fragrance and a pioneer in aromatherapy-inspired perfumes.
Yeah, honey. 71. That's why it was an old lady since, because it was 10 years before I was born. So this is like 20 years by the time I started smelling it. But yeah, it reminds me of it's been around for a long time. I need to go get me one of them because I do love a aromatic baby. I love aromatic, baby. Mm. Well, all right, y'all. I'm about to get off here. I'm about to finish watching this Michaela Cole and Anne Hathaway movie. It was looking good when I started it earlier. I'm about to go finish it. But I will talk to y'all later. I think I'm going to go live tomorrow because I want to talk about something else deeply. Um, and I think I'll go live tomorrow. But all right, darlings. Bye bye.